Hi everyone, I'm Magnus and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so first and foremost, I just want to say happy, merry, belated Christmas, Hanukkah, Yule, whatever it is you celebrate. I hope you had a very blessed holiday season, and if you don't celebrate anything in particular, I still hope you had a wonderful season-ish. You know what I mean. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Today's topic is going to be purification and cleansing. These two terms, I think, other than what you need to know about the processes behind them, the terminology itself, I think, is a little important, or quite important, just because even though I've practiced for over 25 years, I only within the past year or so kind of come to this understanding of those two terms and how they can be the same. They can have opposite definitions. It really, maybe in one culture, one of them exists, the other one doesn't. Like maybe one culture only says purify and the term cleanse doesn't exist, it started to fascinate me. And so I typically use the term cleansing or cleanse. So what I figured I would do is I would give you these two words, the two terms, and then I would give you the definitions. And then I'm going to do a bunch of explaining after that. Alright, so if you are ready to get started, so what is purification? Purification is basically the removal of negative energies from an item, space, or a person. It can be a fairly simple process. It's more along the lines of like cleaning out some of the energetic cobwebs. If you want to put it in perspective of like cleaning your home, it'd be basic stuff, just basic everyday upkeep, like if you had, like I said, cobwebs or, doing your dishes, things like that. It's basic everyday upkeep. Now, the next term is, what is cleansing? Cleansing is clearing out all energies. That means all negative energies, all excess positive energies, pretty much any energy that doesn't resonate within the item, space, or person naturally, it expels and gets rid of those energies. That, in terms of cleaning your home, would be what a lot of people refer to as a spring cleaning. You flip all your cushions and you find out your change in between, the cushions of the couch and chairs, and you do all your dusting, and you get every little thing out, and you throw things away, you give clothes to donations, or whatever it is you do with them. So it's a lot more thorough, a lot more in depth. Now that I've given you a basic definition of the two, like I said, these two terms are extremely interchangeable in the craft. I typically use the term cleanse. It's the first term I ever really heard. It's the one that resonates with me. I think of it as cleaning and then a deep cleaning. It's based, in my opinion, all on intent. So it doesn't really matter what word you use, whatever resonates with you. If the definitions I gave, you feel are switched or different, so be it. That's for you. In the end, really, it's going to be about the intent behind what you're doing. So if the intent you're doing is just to get rid of negative energies, then you will find different items, different things that correspond to getting rid of negative energies, and you can use those items to help cleanse or purify, whatever the term you want to use, to get rid of. And then, if you decide that you want to get rid of all these excess energies, negative energies, whatever, kind of get it scraped down back to the basics that it originally had, then you would do a more thorough, a more deep clean. So I'm going to use the term cleanse because, well, that's just what I do. Like I said, I've probably said it 3 or 4 times now. I may say it once or twice more before this video is over with. But the way you cleanse or purify an item depends on the individual. Now, I don't want to go through a whole lot of processes because I honestly think it's going to leave way too many questions unanswered. And a lot of those questions I will be getting to in future videos. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about my process for cleansing an item or space, person, whatnot. And then I'll probably leave it at that. Just kind of give you a very basic overview, a concept of it. Hopefully the definitions, the little explanation that I gave will kind of help you out as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the way I cleanse an item or a person or space, whatever the case may be, I typically use smoke. Smoke is a great way to cleanse. You can use smoke, salt, you can use water, you can pretty much use anything you can think of that has some kind of significance to it. You don't want to bathe it in purple beads and expect something to be cleansed, but things that are connected to the earth, to natural elements, to something kind of connected to you in that aspect. I could give a few more examples, but then I think I'm just going to start rambling even more. So I'm just going to stick with, the way I do it, which is smoke, and then, like I said, salt, and then water, and a few other ones. So the process of it is you take, in my case, the smoke, and you bathe the item or person or space in this smoke. Every cranny, whatever it is of this person, space, and item, you cleanse it within that smoke, and that gets rid of the energies behind it, these excess or negative energies that you're not wanting. Now, there are certain items that you can use that help basically draw out negative or push out those negative energies and draw in positive energies. That's personally what I like to do because I don't want just start banishing and getting rid of all this stuff and accidentally start getting rid of some of that good energy that I've stored up. And I just don't want to do that. To me, that was a waste. Why would I do that and just waste it out by these cleansings? So I like to do it in steps. If I want to do, a very basic cleansing, then I do a cleansing to where I get rid of those negative energies and draw in those positive energies. An item that particular that I use to do this is Palo Santo, holy wood. It's a various type of wood. It comes from a certain family of trees, which, by the way, a little fascinating fact, the smell of this tree or the wood that you burn doesn't actually come from the tree while it's alive and growing. Once the tree has broken off, fallen down, whatever the case may be, once it's no longer actually growing and it starts to dry out, this chemical reaction starts happening within the wood that produces the smell that we know of Palo Santo. I just thought that was kind of fascinating. But anyway, so Palo Santo is very good for cleansing out those negative energies and for drawing in the positive energies. So like I say, for a very basic, simple cleansing, that's what I would do, because I'm just going to push out that negative and then draw in the positive. Now, you can use other items to do the same process, except do it a little bit more thorough. If I want to cleanse out like all of these energies, like any excess energies about it, and just get it down to its raw, natural, whatever essence, whatever energy already exists in it, I want to get it back to that and nothing else, then I usually use something like sage. I do usually use garden sage. You usually hear a lot about white sage. I hear too many things about sage, about how it may be endangered, it may not be endangered. There's pardon me, I was going to say reservations. I don't know if that would be the term, but it's like sacred lands and stuff where it grows, where people go and they steal this stuff. I mean, it's almost like ginseng or something, like people go on people's property and steal this stuff, like up in the mountains, like, and make money off of it. Like, I just can't understand, especially when it comes to people's sacred lands, why they would go on and want to steal this stuff from these people. Like, you can order seeds offline and grow it. You can find a lot of places who will give you seeds to grow it naturally. Like, it baffles my mind why people would want to do something like that. So, like I said, I grow a garden sage. I do dry it out and make my own little bundles. So when I want to do a lot deeper, thorough cleansing, that's what I use. Sage is wonderful for getting out all of those excess energies. It's great for doing basic banishings or cleansings around the home, like if you have any like little wayward spirits or something without really a strong attachment or anything. It's great to do that around the home and get rid of it. I do always suggest using a little ventilation, just for the fact of, it's smoke. You don't want to have your home full of smoke, and especially if you have pets or kids or anything, or anyone that might have allergies. So be aware of that. But now, what I've decided to do, other than talking a whole lot about this and rambling a whole lot about it, because there are so many correspondences that you can use, items that you can use to help with the cleansing process, especially like with me where I like to use smoke. There's so many different kinds of herbs and woods and stuff that I can burn to cleanse. There's all sorts of other stuff that you can use to cleanse and purify things with. So what I'm going to do is actually show you a little simple cleansing process that I do. I make craft items, I sell craft items, and I have this habit, I don't even want to call it a ritual, but it almost feels ritualistic in a way, of cleansing everything that I use. So if I buy an item from the store, I cleanse it. If I have 10 items that I'm putting together to make something, each one of those items is cleansed individually. The tools that I used are cleansed. And then when I'm done, I cleanse the whole item again. And the reason I do that is because whenever you're doing stuff and you're putting your energy into it, into these workings, into these craft items and stuff, you can accidentally have your mind wander, and you could be thinking about something that happened at work or something that happened on the road or in a relationship, and you can start kind of putting these negative thoughts or negative energies into it unintentionally, even if it's only briefly, and then you drift back to the whole positive, it still kind of push that negative stuff in there. So I always like to reiterate that positive charge to it and constantly cleanse it of those negative energies. Some people say it's overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially in cases like this when I'm selling an item. I don't want to sell you something that's full of all these nasty negative energies, and I just don't want to do that. I don't see the purpose in that, especially the whole reason I started doing these crafts and stuff was because I wanted it by hand and want to know where the stuff was coming from and know that these good positive energies were put into it, that it was taken with care and love, for how cheesy that might sound. But so anyway, so I'm going to show you a quick little craft item that I built. It's right here. It's pretty simple. It is a pendulum board. It is made of oak wood. It's about an inch thick, roughly, maybe a little more, just give or take. And what I've done is I take a wood burner and burn the lines and the words into it, and then I take the reason I do the paint in this situation is because where the epoxy comes on and the center part here gets really dark, I add the paint underneath to give it basically where you can see it very well. Otherwise, this middle part looks kind of mushy and you can kind of barely see what's in there. So I add, basically I'll dab the epoxy on, then I will do a line of paint, do a little bit more epoxy, a little bit more paint, and then another epoxy. So it sounds like there's a lot of epoxy. There's really not that that much. I mean, if you see, it's rather thin across it. But besides that, okay, so yeah, quit rambling with that. Um, so this is an item that I just created for someone, and I have yet to cleanse it. So that's what I will do. I will take a piece of Palo Santo that I have. I will get it going, get it smoking really good, and then I will just do a quick little cleansing. I mean, it's really almost as simple as I explained earlier, but it's mostly about the intent behind it. So you don't want to just put it in the smoke and be like, oh, there it's cleansed. You know, you gotta like focus your energy on it. You know, use the smoke's energy, you know, to cleanse it. You know, like do the combination. Put your energy into it, put the smoke's energy into it, do the whole little cleansing process. Remember, intent is key. So I'm going to take my little Palo Santo over here, and I'm sure you can see these little candles behind me. So I'm going to get my Palo Santo all nice and smoking and hot. Now, again, anytime that you're doing burning and stuff like that, you know, please be careful. You know, I don't want anybody to burn up or get injured or, yeah, please, just be careful. Alright, so, I got it smoking my board. Here's all I do. Alright, so you see literally I'm just covering this entire thing in smoke. Now, I do kind of stop rambling for a moment when I do stuff like that, just because I do try to focus my energy in it. Like I said, I try to focus that intent into it. Sometimes I kind of mutter to myself, sometimes I'll say it out loud. But all I do is say, I take away these negative energies. I take away its negative energies. Something simple like that. You know, I try not to be too fancy with it because it's something I like to be repetitive about. And if it's very repetitive, you know, you get fancy and you start messing up your words, or you have a bad day and you don't feel like saying all that. So I just make this pretty simple. But anyway, that's the basic concept of cleansing and purifying. Now, I know I, as always, talk and ramble a lot, but hopefully I got the point across about the concept of cleansing and purifying, and if you believe there is a difference, then I've kind of given you the differences, and you can take the definitions for whichever one, or you can kind of be like me. Well, I'm not going to say a lot of people because I don't know any percentages, but you can be like me and just use the one term for both. Really, it's up to you. It's up to how you study, how you practice. Maybe it's a certain way you've learned. That's fine. Whatever it is, it's up for you. Remember, this is a craft. It's a learning process. It's hands-on. It's to personalize and customize. So you know, you make this your own. There may be certain terminologies that have a very specific meaning, but these two in particular, tomato, you know, whatever you want to go with. So just know the basic concepts of them, and I will be doing a whole category of correspondences, and a lot of those correspondences that can help you in doing different cleansings and purification processes. So please stay tuned to those. That will be, like I said, a separate category. This first one is the basics. I got a couple more videos I want to do before I start going into all these different correspondences. But anyway, enough rambling for the day. Hopefully I got my point across, and hopefully somebody found this informative and If so, feel free to give it a like. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything of that nature, feel free to leave a comment. I am always here to answer questions. I definitely like doing it. I like guiding people in their way, so to speak. So, again, if you have any questions or anything like that, just let me know. Otherwise, thank you for sticking around, as always. And as always, take care of yourself, be safe, be kind, but don't take no shit.